Welcome back to another episode of Off the Cuff. It's been quite a while, but I'm excited to partner with Oswego County today and start doing these video sessions on a regular basis like we were quite a while back. So there's been a lot that has happened since the last time we had one of these sessions. I'm not going to recap the entire year of 2019. Instead, we'll pick up right now in February, March of 2020 and talk about the way forward because there's plenty to talk about. We're just building on the momentum. As I've kicked off my second term, we're building on the momentum we got started in the first term, in the first 4 years. We'll keep all the progress moving forward, but I've learned how fast 4 years can go and can ensure the public that we will waste no time continuing to make progress and trying to move this community forward for the next 4 years because we're extremely proud of the work we've done, but well aware that we still have a lot of work to do and some of our toughest challenges still left to tackle. So that being said, we kicked off 2020 on a high note. The city of Oswego partnered with the Illegal Bookmobile last summer. For the first time since being mayor, I stopped at an Oswego Bookmobile stop in the summer and gave books to children who showed up and snacks and activities. And the Bookmobile is a great program here in Oswego where it's actually a school bus that's painted and is called the Bookmobile. And it's actually a library on wheels. And for several weeks over the summer when kids aren't in school, the Bookmobile goes around to strategic locations in the city of Oswego, publicize their hours and locations, and allow children to come onto the Bookmobile, get a free book, get a snack, read the book with some teachers or parents who are attending that day, and they actually get to take the book home to keep. So it's a volunteer organization, and I was really impressed with the operation when I visited last summer, and impressed to find out all they do with the little funding they receive, and also saw the reaction of the kids who showed up at the Oswego Bookmobile that day and how important it was and how excited they were to actually be there. So it's in some cases the highlight of their summer, the day that they get to visit the Bookmobile. So that being said, the Bookmobile was running into some challenges. The bus was not ADA accessible. The heated air conditioning didn't work, especially on the day that I was there, and it was just aging. So we assisted the Bookmobile, identified some funding. They submitted a grant. We did some lobbying to secure some state funding. So earlier this year, we were notified that the grant application they submitted and we lobbied for was accepted. So they have a $125,000 grant to pay for approximately half of for a new bus to make the Bookmobile. So that is some great news to ensure that that program is around for a long time to come, and that when people go to the Bookmobile, it's accessible for everyone and it's comfortable, a welcoming atmosphere. It's such an important service to this community. We're lucky to have it. So we have a responsibility to partner to make sure it sticks around for a long time. In other news, the City Council actually took a big step in terms of how we handle city property. As you know, through the foreclosure process, in some cases the city ends up with these homes that tend to sit vacant and cause blight in the neighborhoods. At the same time, they require a DPW to perform consistent maintenance, whether it's shoveling sidewalks, mowing the lawn, trying to fix the property to make our own city properties code compliant. So it takes a lot of work. So what we did is actually instituted an official process to sell these properties. In the past, what would happen is typically landlords, but other people would come in and identify a house that may be city-owned. They would ask about it, offer a sum of money, and then the city council would either accept it or deny it. And what we found is when it's actually publicized and people are aware that these properties are for sale, you get more interest and you get people who are actually more willing to invest in the property and have plans for the property, and you get a better end product rather than the one person who found out about it and buys it on the sly and sits on it usually just makes it a rental and leaves it in a similar condition which they purchased it. So what we did is actually voted to put in a standard system. The system says that we will take the city properties back once they're foreclosed, if people don't pay their taxes or for whatever reason. When we get the list of properties, we will send a letter to the current property owner and give them one last chance, 30 days, to come in and pay the outstanding taxes that they owe. If they do not come in and pay those taxes in full, we will then publicize their house and market it and put it up for sale. The properties that we're currently marketing now can be found on the city website under the property sale tab. You can see that we've established a minimum bid associated with each property, and we will publicize that list for 45 days. It'll be a sealed bid process, so people, if they're interested, should come to the first floor of City Hall at the city clerk's office, get all the paperwork they need, submit their plans for the property and the price that they're willing to pay. And then once the 45 days is up, we will take all of the submissions, review every one of them for each property, and the city council will ultimately vote to sell the property. And I want to stress that it's not necessarily who is interested in buying the property. It's not necessarily going for the highest price to try to make the most money, but we are putting an emphasis on best use. So we'll give preference to people interested in actually fixing up the home and occupying the home, or people interested in actually investing $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 in any property like a residential home and flipping it to make it owner occupied. We'll put an emphasis and a preference on those situations rather than a landlord scooping it up and just making it another rental with minimal investment. So I think it adds transparency, it adds fairness to the process. Most importantly, I think we'll take some of these vacant homes that have either been stuck in the foreclosure process or that the city has owned for far too long and eliminate them from being a source of blight, and hopefully see these properties revitalized slowly but surely over time. So the properties that are posted for sale right now is actually the first round of properties that we took back, but again, we'll sell these hopefully, and once the next round of properties comes up, we'll administer the same process for the foreseeable future. In other news, moving to the waterfront, in late 2019, the City of Oswego was awarded $12.6 million in grant funding to revitalize our marina. I'll talk more about our plans and the projects in next month's edition of Off the Cuff, because I'll be giving my State of the City soon, and we'll unveil a lot of the details in that, and then I'll follow up and elaborate after that. But we were awarded $12.6 million, and that's essentially to make our waterfront more attractive and capitalize on being a waterfront community, but also it's to actually elevate the marina in certain areas so that they aren't as susceptible to flooding or as vulnerable to flooding because of the high water levels in Lake Ontario associated with Plan 2014. So, but because we have the $12.6 million and we have a lot of projects improving our waterfront, we have the $12.6 million projects in addition to projects we've already planned. The Port Authority has a lot of good projects coming up. What we want to do is inform the public and make sure that the public approves of the projects we're doing and the activities we're bringing to our waterfront. So I formed the Waterfront Commission, chaired by former Oswego Mayor John Sullivan. And the Waterfront Commission will essentially offer opinions and feedback and input on the projects and the activities happening along the waterfront. At the same time, they will notify the public of construction dates, project progress, and also solicit feedback from the public so that the public has a say, and they'll do some other things as time goes on as well. So we established that because there's so much happening that we felt that having a commission to offer feedback, to give people a place to discuss what's going on and to keep the public apprised of all the activities and happenings was a worthwhile endeavor. A couple other quick announcements, quick notes. The New York State's plastic bag ban went into effect on March 1st down on the first floor of City Hall. as part of the Keep Oswego Clean initiative that we passed last fall, we're giving away reusable bags for people to take to the grocery store so that they aren't caught off guard and show up to go shopping with no reusable bags. So they're for free. We ask that for now you take one, and we'll see how far the 2,500 we originally ordered gets us. But it's a City of Oswego funded bag, and on the back it has all of the bullet points that were included in the Keep Oswego Clean initiative, and that includes the polystyrene ban, the increased fine for littering, the no smoking on city property, and some other things as well. I'm lifting the parking ban because it looks like the heaviest snow may be behind us. The weather forecast looks good for the foreseeable future. So I appreciate the public's cooperation and support with the parking ban. We got through what we thought was going to be the major storm last week, and we were able to clean up the roads, clean the streets, get the snow out of the way. So we'll lift the parking ban to ease the burden on folks who don't have a driveway. And lastly, on Saturday, March 7th at 1 p.m., the City of Oswego is partnering with the Hibernians Club here in Oswego to host the St. Patrick's Day Parade. That starts at 1 o'clock on East 1st Street, goes down State Route 104 and takes a right onto West 2nd Street. So that's always a fun day, and then a lot of local establishments like Gibby's, LaGraff's, Steamers, several others have a lot of fun activities and parties following the event. So it's a great day. We're hoping for nice weather, and I would encourage people to get out and enjoy the parade. It's really grown and taken a life of its own these last 3-4 years. So hopefully we can keep building on it and make it a staple in the community for years to come. So that is a quick summary of what's going on here. We'll have a whole lot more next week or next month after I give my State of the City. The State of the City is my 5th State of the City, and that's where I essentially declare what state the city is in, but also outline my agenda, goals, objectives for 2020. So that'll be an action-packed speech that I'll give one day at the Common Council meeting, and then I look forward to elaborating and detailing more of the initiatives and proposals I'll have next month. So we'll talk to you then, and thanks for tuning in.